School is supposed to be a safe place for everyone, but unfortunately for too many of us, that is not the case. Hi, I'm Jamie from Dear Laura, and in this movie we see the repercussions of high school bullying and how even when people reach out for help, schools don't necessarily do all that they can to help stop the bullying.
Hey, this is Doug Kenny. Years ago in elementary school, I was bullied by people. The bullying came down to physical bullying in my toddler years, and then it turned into being excluded from activities in the school as I got older. It really had a bad impact on me, and as I see suicide rates skyrocketing lately with the common denominator being bullying, I just gotta say that I think it's gotten to the point where I think the government needs to start taking a look into it, whether it's school, whether it's the workplace, whether it's families, etc. Any form of bullying is unacceptable, and a lot of it boils down to people dealing with their own struggles and taking it out on people that don't deserve it. You know, it's really unfortunate, and it's got to stop. I mean, the world can be a great place, and I'm all about people. I love the world to death, but I'm sure getting tired of bullying causing so many unnecessary tragedies. Hey everyone, this is Doug Kenny, and we welcome you to Relentless and Unstoppable. All of us have taken a stand against bullying, any forms of bullying. Hey everyone, how you doing?
Hi Doug.
Hey.
Hi Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Hi Doug.
Awesome.
Greetings.
So, Doug, can you just sort of introduce everybody to our followers and new viewers and where they're from?
Absolutely. We have Jerry Trimble, an international kickboxer from Newport, Kentucky, now living in Canada. We have Belle from the Dear Laura production. We have Adam Georgelin, who's an anti-bullying activist who is collaborating on a fund with Bully Zero. And we have Karen Haines, who is the mother of my former schoolmate, Cassidy Glassman. We have Diamond Darryl from Gold Coast, Queensland. And we have Pippa Awesome from the Dear Laura production. And it's nice to have you all on here.
Yeah, sure is.
Thank you, Doug.
Awesome.
It's good to be here.
Okie dokie. So let's get this underway. I'm just going to introduce, thanks Doug for organising all this behind the scenes. Jerry is going to mediate this. Jerry does a lot of, apart between his acting and coaching, Jerry does a lot of anti-bullying talks up in Canada, but I'll let him quickly explain those events he speaks at. He'll mediate it. What we want to talk about is, you know, the effects of bullying, you know, how it's affected each and every one of us, and, you know, the after effects of that, and how you got over that, and what steps you took to, you know, to get over the stress and anxiety of being bullied. And we'll hear some stories about, you know, each of you that have dealt with bullying and your personal journey. So, Jerry, over to you, my friend, and just a little bit of what you do up in Canada there, mate.
I moved to Canada about 12 years ago for the entertainment business. As Andy has mentioned, I'm an actor. And I got involved. I've been working with at-risk youth for about 47 years, and got introduced to the the other side. There you go. East End Boys Club. I'm like, I'm backwards. East End Boys Club, Vancouver, which is helping young men to become pillars of the community and to become the best version of themselves, creating, you know, young men that's going to be respectful and going to be good role models for society. And I've been with them for about maybe 9 years up here in Vancouver. But first of all, I want to thank you, Doug, for putting this thing together. And along with everything else that you mentioned, Andy, that we'd like to hear from the panel, also, if we can end it, each person with your advice on what you think needs to happen, either with the schools, with the government, or law, or whatever, that can help change. And you know, I don't think we're ever going to get rid of bullying, because there's too many assholes in the world. But sorry, excuse my French. You bleep that out, right, Doug? But
no, that's okay, mate. It was good English, not French. I love it. Good English.
Okay. Yeah, if we can give some advice to those that are listening, where they can get something out of it. Every time I do a talk, every time I do a workshop, my goal, my intention is that when somebody watches it, that they go, "Wow, that I connected with that." There's something that they can get out of it. So if we all can leave with something of value for somebody watching, because that's our intention. Why are we even doing this? Why did you guys decide to do this? Doug and Andy, you guys been doing some great stuff. Why are you doing it? When you know the why they're doing becomes so much easier. So the reason why we're doing it is because we're trying to help change the world in a positive light. And I think, just share everything you got and boom, and say, what would you suggest? Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Jerry, can we go with we'll go with Darryl first, because I know he's driving and he's heading to the airport, so that way we don't miss out on his story. So I'll hand it over to you and mute myself. Geez, that'll be hard.
Let's go, Darryl, and please be careful, Darryl. Yeah.
All right, you got me? I just unmuted. It was a little bit risky, but how you going? Hear me? My story. I don't know if I can hear you or not.
Yeah, we got you, mate. Yep.
Oh, got me. Sorry, I just couldn't hear anyone. My story. My story is when I was a kid. I was bullied because I only found out years after that I had a thing, a Dent's disease and rickets, which gave me bendy legs, which was really nothing that I didn't even notice when I was a kid. But there was one bully that noticed, and I got picked on for about probably 8 to 9 months, and it really affected me. I really got bad depression as a child. This was early primary school, but back then I was just a surfy, blonde-headed, skinny little kid. So I got picked on a lot just because of that. Because there was one bully which started the bully train. So what you find out with most bullies, they've got a little bit of power, and people want to hang with the power crew, so they follow like sheep to the bully. So that went on for quite a while, for almost 9 months. And then the teachers were getting bullied by this person's family, which I also found out that the bulliness is in the family. So we should try to be aware to make sure our kids aren't bullies, or be careful what we say to our subconsciously teaching our kids to bully, I think, is a big thing. The more a parent say stuff about that person and this person, the kid thinks it's all right to make fun and to make a bully. So anyway, my bullying went on for quite a while and affected me really bad as a kid, but you sort of don't go to your parents because they're working and this and that, so you don't think you've got time for it. Mine come close to suicide at school, and I was getting depressed and all this stuff, and it ended pretty quick because I finally had enough, and I was in a bus line, and I turned around and pretty much I took care of the bully. I'm trying to think of the most nicest way that I can to say it. But I just had enough. I snapped, and I took care of the bully. And then after that, my bullying, everything stopped my whole high school years. I learned out of that to stand up to my problems, and not everyone can do that. So, but I used to roll with a lot more confidence. I used to fake confidence and to call a bluff to work my way through a lot of situations. So that's pretty much what I did. And I've never had many problems, but I've worked. I've tried to help people that have been bullied before. Recently, my grandson was getting bullied online on TikTok. And this is why you've got to watch our kids online, because online's dangerous in a lot of reasons. Mentally, it's bad for our kids to grow up so quickly. Like that, he was getting bullied, making TikToks and making funny things he found fun when people are telling him to grow up yourself. You're 8 years old. Well, how can you tell an 8-year-old to grow up? I wish we don't need to grow up that quick. Because he was doing dances and that on TikTok, I went on there the way I'm looking, and I did exactly the same dances as him. I put fairy rings on and I danced around. Bully me, don't bully him. It stopped pretty quick, but what I learned is I've gone through and I've blocked and deleted people that were annoying him, and I found in my life, rather than responding to some bullies, just block them. If you're never going to see them again online, you're never going to, what's the point of arguing? That most of them get off on the arguments and the attention that they're not getting at home, they're not getting somewhere in their life. So online troll is a different type of bully than what we're used to at school. We didn't have that at school. We had the bully who probably had a bad upbringing. His mother wasn't giving him the lunches we had, whatever it was. But online trolls, they're missing something else in their life. And sometimes they just want that attention. Block, delete, get over it. And that's the advice I can give, is to try to build your confidence. Try to find yourself a sport like martial arts or something you will gel with. And it might take you a bit to find the thing that you are comfortable with, but there is something out there. Try surfing, try lots of different sports to free up your mind, to make you likewise friends. Try not to fit into crowds you won't fit into. And I find that a lot of people go, I want to hang with that crowd, they're cool. But they're probably full of assholes. Hang with people you're going to get on with. Mates, if you get 20 mates that are like-minded, they're not as big as the two bullies, but you still got 20 of you. People leave you alone. So find something you're good at, your own niche, and with your own type of people, with their own type of interests. That's my advice. I didn't really get bullied. I did martial arts. I learned how to fight. But even though I never fight, I never got into a fight, but people just didn't pick me. Just didn't. I rolled with a lot more confidence. And I think
that's really wonderful, Darryl.
Yeah.
Such a good share, man. That's so good.
That's my little story.
Hey, Darryl, dude, you look pretty intimidating to me. Were you always intimidating? Did you, yeah.
I don't find myself intimidating, but I do know what you mean.
No, yeah, you do.
But,
you look like you should be a bad guy in a movie or a tough guy in a movie.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
But no, it's not always the look. Like, I've just turned 50, and I'm pretty good for being 50, I think. I'm parked now, so I'm all free. But yeah, I've always looked like that. I've always looked like myself. My sisters and that were, I've got older sisters. They were punk rockers, and I used to go to like these nightclubs as 12 years old, and I just thought everything was cool. And I left school at a young age. I never taught myself how to read and write till I was 20. I did leave school at a young age. I lived in a squat when I was about 9 years old, 10 years old. I lived on the street. My mother had a drinking problem. Love her to death. She's dead now, but she had her own problems. And so I sort of took off away from home. I had a crazy path in my life. There's a million stories in my life. But even my whole life now, if I've got a problem with someone smaller or a woman, you know what I mean? I don't pick on people that are a lot smaller or weaker or anything to me. I don't find it attractive to do that.
You said you didn't read and write until you were 20?
No, I taught myself how to read and write because I left school at a young age. I'm still not a very good writer now. They said I had dyslexia when I was younger. But then I went to an adult workshop because I've got lovely kids. One's a nurse, one's a surgical nurse, one's a SIG in the army. I've got really successful children. And it went for years. No one knew that I had this reading and write problem because I'm good at. And schools treat people like you can go through school without people knowing you're getting bullied, without knowing you can read and write. That's a problem in itself. We're overturning people too quickly. And especially now, internets and parents working. But yeah, I taught myself how to read and write when I was about 20 years old.
Are you writing a book?
I need to write a book.
Yes,
I've got a big long history. I did live on the streets when I was 9. I found out I had an illness when I was 12 and all these things. So,
Do it, man. Do it. Yes.
What an incredible story. What an incredible story.
Wow. Inspiring.
Yeah, so inspiring. And look, just to cut in, sorry, Jerry, we are going to bring this back again because everyone won't be able to share their whole life now, but this can go on for 2 or 3 sessions over months to get the stories out because that story alone, I know everyone else's will be similar, will inspire someone and will have someone look at themselves and go, shit, I do not have to put up with this. So thanks, Darryl. That was so awesome, man.
Nice. That's all good. Yeah. If I can help one person, I love that, That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, brother. Yes.
My bullying started when I first went to my new school and somebody pushed me over and it sort of, I was worried about going back and experience it again because it wasn't very nice.
So yeah, it wasn't good. We have to put the word out about how it upsets people and how it affects people, and yeah, just put that message out, like how much it yeah, affects everybody that goes through it, and make people think twice about before they do something bad to somebody else.
Hey, I'm Tyson Jarvis. Just want to share my experience about bullying with you. I was always overweight growing up, 100 plus kilos, and yeah, that was a major cause of me getting bullied. I currently weigh low 80 kilos now, and I don't know where the bullies are anymore. So how it made me feel, I felt sad, felt to the point where I hated myself, but I thought the only way to win was to get in shape, and it worked. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but that worked for me. Yeah, probably the other sort of little bits and pieces of getting bullied was I said I want to be an actor. People laughed, and then people see me on the NXS TV show, and then people wanted to congratulate me. So I guess in my experience was to shut the haters up, was to be successful in achieving what you're set out to do. Anyway, that's me. Cheers. I'm out.